thoughts, opinions, and general overall shade thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. Oh, yeah. Good morning, everybody. That's right. It's Thursday, August 10th. We're almost to Friday. We're just a few hours away. But today, we must live in the present because today is National S'mores Day. Everyone loves a s'mores. It's also National Shapewear Day.
Mm-hmm. Get your Skims on.
Agent Orange Awareness Day. World Lion Day. I don't know why this isn't during Leo season, but whatever. And also National Connecticut Day. And, oh, man, it's the Democrats' favorite day because today is National Lazy Day. Oh, yeah. Thank you for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And it is also high noon on the East Coast. And we are live every day on YouTube and audio only on Twitter Spaces at some point, but not quite yet. Whatever you're doing, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check us out on all of our social media pages. Use that fancy little QR code right there in the top-hand corner of your screen to see where we live at the internet. And we are going to kick it off with the dope dad himself. That's right. It's Rico Lamitte, the professional backflopper, the professional backpedaler, and the professional steamboater. That's right. It is none other than the dope dad himself. It is Rico Lamitte.
Y'all know it fresh out that Birmingham brawl.
Oh, boy.
I got some great news. The trend for more Americans choosing cannabis over cigarettes continues, according to a new Gallup poll published this morning. The poll estimated fully half, that's 50% of American adults claiming they've at least tried marijuana, and about 17 saying that they smoke it. So even though the stigma is being removed, they're still calling it marijuana in Gallup. But this goes in comparison to a separate recent Gallup poll showing just 11% of American adults saying that they smoke cigarettes. But not only did the poll suggest more Americans are smoking more weed than cigs, but the majority say that they are not especially concerned about the effects of adults regularly consuming. Marijuana Moments' Kyle Yeager did a highlight on one specific poll question asking whether people smoke the substance, claiming it likely does not reflect overall current cannabis use given the range of non-smokable products that people consume, such as edibles, tinctures, and vapes. But when it comes to smoking, it's become clear that Americans are increasingly opting for marijuana over cigarettes, end quote. The trend lines for both seem to be moving in the same direction across all age groupings, with nearly half of the U.S. now providing access to legalized cannabis. Lifetime use has hit a record high of 50%, up 2% from last year's 48%. Gallup's Justin McCarthy noted that when Gallup first polled people about whether they've experimented with marijuana in 1969, just 4% of respondents said that they had. But that number has increased sharply in the first decade after the initial measure, rising 20 percentage points by 1977, and it rose another 9 points to 33% by 85, but thereafter stalled at under 40% until 2015, until it ticked up to 44%. It remained at about that level through 2019, but then rose to 49% in 2021, roughly where it is today. Sounds like we can thank the pandemic for that one. Thanks, Wuhan. Other numbers revealed that in the poll, showed lifetime consumption is consistent across age groups. 18 to 33, 49%, 35 to 54, 51%, 55 plus, 47%. College graduates and non-graduates both clock in at 49%, and men are likely to have experimented with cannabis at 54% compared to women at 44%. But my favorite category of all of these dives into the American political spectrum. Those numbers show the largest divide in groups identified by Gallup being party affiliation, with Democrats the most likely to have tried marijuana at 57%, followed by independents, 52%, and Republicans coming in last at a paltry 39%. So while Jason Beck may call himself the highest Republican in all that, Gallup's telling us that he was smart to pick that horse because without much competition on the right, the bar ain't that high, bro. But Democrats also seem to be the party of Karens and snitches, nearly twice as likely at 21% to report active cannabis smoking to authorities compared to Republicans at 12%. Another recent Gallup analysis showed a bit of bipartisan unity and support for cannabis legalization, something you don't see or hear much on the mainstream issues these days. While Democrats have more quickly embraced the issue over the past 2 decades, a majority of Republicans and Democrats, as well as those who lean toward one party or the other, both support ending prohibition. It is the one issue I think we all can agree on because cannabis is the quintessential communal plant. And lots more interesting numbers in the Gallup poll released this morning. If you're a data junkie like myself, you definitely want to check this article out with links to the original Gallup poll, much nerdier, raw stats and more. And you can find it all on our website, high9news.com. I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High 9 News. What do y'all think about these new numbers? We have 50%, y'all. What y'all think?
Hold on. You're telling me that the Democrats are more likely to snitch?
Yeah.
That is.
That's the part that shocked me the most, honestly, too. I was like, wait, what?
It's all those Karens. It's all those Karens out there that are all identify as Democrats. Mm-hmm.
Limousine liberals, man.
Yeah, limousine liberals. I found that the most fascinating out of all this. I'm not surprised by the cannabis statistics at all, really whatsoever, and so I'm not that surprised by these numbers. But the snitching one is very, very interesting to me.
NIMBYs, yeah, they're like, oh yeah, you guys smoke weed, just not in my neighborhood.
And I'm willing to bet that all of that 12% of Republicans that would snitch, that's like the little old ladies that just sit inside their house all day and look out of their window, and like when they see something, they do call and report it, and that's just them trying to be like good public citizens in their mind, and that's where that 12% is coming from. Yep.
Kill that neighbor.
You like that? That's a good little spin right there, Rico. You should work on your spin. You should work on your spins from all your backpedaling.
B-boy Beck, Jason B-boy Beck.
Mm-hmm.
He's spinning on his lip.
It's too bad these numbers don't reflect public policy. It's clear that people want this shit to go forward.
That's a fact.
There's politics wrapped up in this.
Yes.
And I remember college studying criminal justice, and if 10% of your population doesn't support a prohibition, you can't enforce it. Now we're at 50% more that don't support this, but still the policies are in place. And breaking through some of that's still a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
Very, very true. Any thoughts on this, Rachelle or Tony?
I mean, I'm not surprised at all, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think that this is anything new, but I did just learn something when he just said about prohibition at 10% of the population, but now is at 50. That's an incredible number. And I think that eventually this could be the straw that's going to break the camel's back. That's a crazy poll that just came out. And if 50% of the population of this country smoking marijuana, and we know that you are letting people kill themselves openly with tobacco products with no shame, then I mean, how much longer can you actually discriminate against a plant that really has health benefits?
Mm-hmm. Well, they won't admit to those health benefits yet because it's still a Schedule 1 drug, but nonetheless, we all know the truth. They won't admit to a lot of things.
Right? No, I feel like these numbers are just going to keep going up. I mean, the poll, what was it? Just a month or two ago, it said 42%. Now we're at 50%. I think it's just going to keep going up.
It's the exact opposite of cannabis stocks. It's just going to keep on going up.
Well, and honestly, I believe that this number is definitely higher than 50%. This is just 50% willing to admit to it.
Ooh.
It's a great point. I totally agree with that.
Jason, so, what do you think a Rasmussen poll would say?
It would probably say higher numbers. Because they, whatever. I find your point very, very interesting, Gretchen, and I wonder which side embellishes the most, the Republicans or the Democrats on this one.
All those right snitches.
There's only 12%. Only 12%. Stone.
They didn't cop to it. That's what I'm saying.
But that's a lot smaller number than the Democrat snitching number.
Who cares about the snitching number?
The snitching is the number you're focused on. Because snitching is probably one of the most prevalent problems in the cannabis industry to date.
This is a Donald Trump guy who's tired of being snitched on.
So we got to know.
Has nothing to do with
categorize them as the dry snitches, the moist snitches, and the wet snitches.
What about the towelette snitches?
He said there's levels to the snitching.
What about the towelette snitches? Why are you excluding them?
The towelettes stay moist.
I got dry snitches around me. I got wet snitches around me. Mm-hmm. I got bigoted and prejudiced snitches around me. And you know what's crazy? This is coming from a black guy that clearly looks like he is from the ghetto, right? So no matter where you go, if you have reached a level of success and you have some telltale signs of some past niggerism, it don't matter where you go. Well, it does not matter where you find yourself. You will find someone, no matter what side they lean on, and they're going to be prejudicial against you. You're going to find that a lot of people that claim they're on one side or whatever side are pretty much doing the same thing. Some people will say, oh, this person on that side on the left shouldn't be able to talk or whatever, but that's the same censoring that you will say on the right that you don't want that's happening on the right. People don't want to hear each other. They don't want to have the arguments. It's pretty much all the same. So I'm just coming from a black guy that clearly looks like he is from the ghetto. I'm telling you that no matter where you go, when you find yourself some form of success, you will find yourself with people who will just look at you and judge you based on contingency of what they think they see because of the programming that they watch on television.
Because of their perception.
I don't know, Tony. I don't know. After 50 years of hip hop, man, like I see a lot of white guys look like you too from the suburbs.
Yeah, but I know, you know what? That's cool. But when I move around places where it's quiet, everyone who in my neighborhood are retired. The lady that lives across the street is retired. Her husband's retired. The people behind me are retired. So these people are in their 60s and 70s and stuff like that. I'm the young guy that's over here with all of the tattoos and the Mercedes outside and everything else. Like, you understand what I mean? So I'm not giving an excuse for it, but everywhere I find myself, I always try to live where there's more accomplished and cultured people. It doesn't matter what they are, because the guy that right there is Indian. So it doesn't matter what you are. I just rather be around people who are older. When I come outside, I'll get a conversation worth hearing. I'll be able to ask some questions about a time that I was not alive. I'll get information. I like stuff like that. But from my experience, when I go to these places where I live, I just deal with it. It doesn't matter if I'm in New York. It doesn't matter if I'm here in Texas. It doesn't matter if I'm in Colorado. It doesn't matter if I'm in California. It doesn't matter. When you reach a place where you've seen some form of success and you're around people who are just not used to seeing you there, they're going to judge you based on the contingency of what they think they know. And I get high.
Oh boy! I do think there is a little point to that. Is that when you are in the mode of achieving success, obtaining success, or successful, you do want to be around other successful people, not just for mentorship or for guidance, but just because those people are the people that you're going to want to network with, because those are more people that you're going to be more successful with also.
Yeah, but also, I mean, it goes to show that how we are funneled into one group against the other.
Yep, that part is true.
When the American people, I agree with you so much on a lot of what you said, Tony. There, a lot of people, they have the same thoughts, they have the same inclinations, and if you just talk to folks that don't look like you, chances are they smoke weed too.
Yeah. That's right, whether they want to admit it or not. And with that, we're going to go to a commercial, and we're going to be right back.
Yes, sir.
How's it going, guys? Saman Razani coming to you from Green Street here with Jason Beck, smoking on the best weed in the world. Did you know that we have an audio-only version of our podcast available on Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and Spotify? Tune in now and check it out.
Oh, bro, you can't run to your car.
You want to run to a show? Come on. Stop
Yeah.
jacking lighters and get this moving.
Exactly. Yeah, stop jacking lighters, Jesse. Jesse the lighter jacker. You got this intro, Rico? It's Dale.
Yeah.
You okay?
I don't see anything on the screen. All right. So up next, we got a 36-year practicing attorney, founding partner at Armada Law Corp. But he did inform us yesterday that he is going to be hitting the high road, maybe with Stone Slade. Here to break us off with our second story of the day, everybody's favorite foul-mouthed uncle, Dale Schafer.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey Dale, you got your AARP card yet?
I've had it for a while. Yeah. I'm officially older than dirt. And yeah, I'm semi-retired now. I've got a little more time for the grandchildren. I got 12 of them. And, trying to keep my sanity with that many grandkids is going to be a full-time job. Okay, my story today involves Dutchie. All of you who are in the industry know that Dutchie has these point-of-sale touchscreen systems. And it seems that, as my mom used to say, they got their proverbial tit in a ringer here. They've been sued by a company called ScanSource, and it seems that ScanSource is the North American and Canadian distributor for an Asian company. And I don't use the word China, but I'm going to assume this is technology from China. And Dutchie was ordering and installing touchscreen systems and all the apps that go along with it. And everything seemed to be going great. And they were told that, hey, these are custom orders. They etched their name on some of them. They were custom apps in them, custom touchscreen. And as soon as you place the order, you own it. It's a non-cancelable, non-refundable, non-returnable order. These are custom-made devices. And that's where Dutchie got itself in some trouble. It seems they placed orders for about $25 million worth of these custom-made touchscreens and stands and all the little workstations they had there with all their custom apps, and then decided, hold your horses, let's pump the brakes here. And they were told, look, it ain't that simple. Once you place that order, they start gathering materials to manufacture. We've got them in our warehouse. We've got them in production. They're in their warehouses in Asia. And so maybe the ones that we haven't started production on, if you pay us material costs, we'll cancel. And Dutchie said, no, we're not into that. We'll pay you some money, but we're not going to do it. Well, it turns out that their contract says that as soon as they place that order and it gets delivered, they are the owners. They owe ScanSource money for bringing it in. And after 90 days, if you don't come get it, we start charging you a storage fee. And oh, by the way, we charge 12% interest for what you owe us. And so at the end of last year, Dutchie tried to pull the plug. It didn't work. And so now we've got a complaint filed against Dutchie for $25 million for these orders, for storage fees, and for interest. Now, the moral of this story is be sure you know what your obligations are under a contract before you make a move that's going to cost you a lot of money. And I don't know if Dutchie hasn't answered this. These are mere allegations yet. We'll see what they have to say. If they're claiming they didn't know that they couldn't cancel these orders, we'll see. But these kinds of custom orders, it's not unusual to have a no cancel, no return, no refund type of a contract. And if you've got $25 million worth of orders out there and you're not clear that pumping the brakes is going to cost you a lot of money, then either you don't have a good lawyer, you're dumb as hell, or maybe a combo of both. So there's my, let's throw a turd in the punch bowl for the day. What do you guys think about this?
Hold on. So just want to make this clear, Dale. You're telling us that Dutchie owes China $25 million.
Well, technically they owe ScanSource because they were the distributor for a China. I'm going to say a Chinese. It says Asian. Okay, I'm not sure if they're not trying to say the name or whatever.
Chinese.
Or they got it from. They're Chinese, and they started this order. And once it starts towards ScanSource is obligated to pay the Chinese. And then they go after the people who place the order. So that's where ScanSource, they're on the hook for over $20 million worth of product. sitting in a warehouse, and Dutchy's like, well, we don't need it now. Well, okay. We'll see you in court then.
Interesting. I see your eyebrows up, Rachelle.
I saw this headline the other day, but I didn't realize who they owed money to. I was just like, oh, this is interesting. Like another lawsuit, people not paying their bills, but yeah, it's a lot bigger than I imagined.
Well, one of the good parts of this is that this is not a plant touching company. So bankruptcy is available, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if they don't run in for some bankruptcy protection here from these kind of debts. Because they were removed to federal court, and I think they're in South Carolina federal court, which is where the scan source is from. And the federal court don't play. So you may have to run in and get a stay in bankruptcy to try to stave this off.
Yeah, but Dutchy has $25 million on their books to be able to pay this, though, Dale. So why would they need bankruptcy court?
Well, but books can say a lot of things. They don't have the cash to pay it, okay, because it's tied up other places, and you've got other bills coming due, and that's where you run in for, say, reorganization bankruptcy. Try to get this straightened out, get some people paid off, and come out of it as a company, or you can do, full of insolvency. We'll just have to see, because there's no response from them yet. They may claim, hey, we weren't told, we didn't know, these were non-cancelable contracts, blah, blah, blah. Just have to see what their position is.
Hey, chat, everyone out there. Go ahead, Rico.
Yeah. I wonder how the takeover of Dutchy that we saw months ago, the hostile takeover that we saw go down. I wonder if that has anything to do with what happened here.
Well, we'll see if that's going to be public information. And this South Carolina company is a publicly traded company, which then raises this to securities issues and problems. And we'll have to see how that plays into it. But when you do a hostile takeover, you don't always get a chance to go negotiate debts coming in or to deal with all of them. Sometimes you just you buy the baby with the bathwater.
This is going to get interesting real quick.
Well, chat. We want you to participate, and we want you to tell us what you think, chat out there. Will Dutchy pay out this $25 million? There's a poll going on in the chat. Make sure you participate. Let your voice be heard. We're going to see how this continues to play out. I voted no. I don't think Dutchy is going to end up paying out this $25 million. I think there'll be some type of settlement involved. Maybe they'll pay like $10 million or something, but I doubt they're going to pay $25.
That's why lawyers make the big bucks, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, they do.
Right, Gretchen?
Lawyers always win.
Yep.
If I become a lawyer, I want a chair just like yours, Dale.
I'm still a lawyer, but I'm semi-retired, so I'm in my chair. My brain works, but barely.
That's all right. All we need is your brain to work, Dale. Heather can take care of everything else.
Oh, thank God for that girl. She keeps me from falling on my face regularly.
Yes, shout out to Heather with Armada Law. We appreciate everything that she does for us over here at High at 9, without a doubt. But yes, sure. All you want, cute. But nonetheless, we're gonna go into our feisty redheaded conservative Gretchen Gailey, who loves to tell pot-loving libs all about themselves and try to rain on everyone's parade, even when she's walking her dogs outside in atrocious rain gear. That's right, it is none other than the Gretchen Gailey.
My babies have very cute raincoats. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure that they do have raincoats. Oh my God. Do they have little booties too?
Where do you,
no, the
little galoshes?
Where do you find rain boots for pit bulls?
You can find them. However, my babies do not wear the shoes. They don't stay on. They make them walk funny.
You got to put some rubber bands around their hooves. You know what I'm saying?
They don't have hooves. They're not horses.
You got to put little dollar bills.
Pause, Jason.
Jason.
All right. Anyway, stop talking about my babies, my sweet little fur babies. Anyway, what am I doing? Oh, my headline: New York's first marijuana farmers market will open this week. Regulators announced. New York's first marijuana farmers market will open on Thursday, which is, I guess, today, in the Hudson Valley, state regulators announced. About 1 month after the Cannabis Control Board started accepting applications for the new Cannabis Growers Showcases program, regulators said in a press release yesterday that High Falls Canna has been cleared to launch this week and start serving adult consumers at an open market in New Paltz. Licensed growers Queen Farms and Empire Farm 1830, as well as the retailer Legacy Dispensers, will also be on site to sell their cannabis products. The farmers market will be open in the New Paltz Municipal parking lot from 4 to 8 p.m. Thursday on Fridays, from 1 to 8, also on Saturdays. This will continue to place each week until the end of the year, or a traditional retailer opens in the village. A press conference is scheduled for Thursday to mark the first ever opening, featuring the mayor and deputy mayor of New Paltz, New York Office of Cannabis Management staff, and marijuana business entrepreneurs. Under the current rules, the marijuana farmers market will take place up until January 1, 2024, as the state works to get more traditional retailers open. Applications are still being accepted through December 1, 2023. To receive approval for the CGS, applicants must demonstrate that they have at least 3 licensed adult use cannabis cultivators and 1 conditional retail licensee. For every 3 additional cultivators, another provisional vendor must be included at the event. At least initially, on-site consumption will be prohibited because permitting people to use marijuana at the markets would require additional permitting from the State Department of Public Health. Also, organizers will have to ensure that alcohol isn't being sold at the events. Farmers could seek municipal approval and hold the farmers markets on their own property, or they could seek to join other events like concerts, fairs, and festivals that are being separately organized. OCM released templates of approval letters for municipalities and associated events, along with the applications last month. It has also provided inventory lists, attestation letters for CGS licensees, and sample diagrams showing how events can be physically laid out. I think this is a wonderful day for New York. I love a good farmer's market. What the hell? They can't open anything with the brick and mortar. Might as well just let them open up in parking lots. This is Gretchen for High 9 News.
Let them open up in parking lots, Gretchen. Oh, man. I think someone's going to rob this place. Someone's going to rob this place for sure. You're going to have all the legacy operators mad about it.
I'm a New Yorker, and I'm going to tell you it's going to be hard for them to rob a farmer's market in New York. I think that this is very good for New York. I think this is very, very good for New York. This is great for New York. This is good for people who are cultivating marijuana, and it allows people to go there, actually maybe buy some clones and start their own processes, and it opens up a door for people to learn how to cultivate marijuana on a more personal scale.
First talking about it, I'm happy to see it finally happening. Is it just? I said it's just down to 5 or 6 people.
That's all they got licensed. That's all they got licensed.
It's 3 groups that are participating, but in order to participate, you have to have 3 cultivators at least going through your store. So it could be more. They could have more than just 3 cultivators.
Hope to see this more. I hope they stick with it even after they open stores.
Hold on. How are these guys really going to compete with the trap with these high prices, high taxes, old weed, year-old weed, when you have, maybe like 3 months old weed in all these trap shops and no taxes?
Jason, I don't know why you have to be such Debbie Downer all the time.
Because I just speak the truth.
Right, so let me explain to you now. This is the current climate right now. So a lot of Arab individuals who own corner stores in New York City have been waiting for this moment and salivating at the mouth. They've had land in California where they've been growing this stuff for the longest and already getting into New York. And now that it's legal, they can do it through their business. They can legitimately ship it. There's not a problem with them shipping it now. It's like they have some great plants in New York right now. I mean, great strands. And I mean, a lot of Delta 8 infused stuff. But I mean, for the most part, as far as the flower is concerned, New York City's always been a place where we call it designer weed. So we're looking for the best of the best, the highest strains, the most potent strains. Like even when I was selling marijuana, like my clients would kick back some premium packs, but only because it just didn't have a specific look. It needs to have the look, the smell, and the kick. Like it's just different. Like believe it or not, I believe the New York City smokers are a lot more bougie than California smokers. Not a chance. Not a chance, bro. Not a chance.
Tony, quick question. Do you see people going all the way to New Paltz for some cannabis?
For outdoor cannabis?
No.
Exactly.
No. But I can see people going there because it's cannabis. You know what I mean? Like I can see people going there because it's an open market and they may think that it might be something that it's not. And then maybe they could become interested in something more. But I do believe that the Arabs might mess around and start going there. You be surprised because these guys are really trying to corner the market. And when it comes to marijuana in New York, the Arabs are really on their ones and twos. And Jason, I'm telling you, you may be a bougie smoker, but I mean, I've sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of weed. And everyone in New York, I got guys in California who would take packs as nothing. And guys in New York who wouldn't even look at it.
I get it. There is some picky smokers out there in New York. I'll agree with you on that. But the overall smoker in New York is not picky, okay? Because they've been smoking outdoor California weed forever.
No, and now you know what they're gonna call that? They're gonna call that block work.
We call it boof. We call it boof out here.
They're gonna be like, yo, don't bring that. Yeah, out there they call it boof out there. I lived in Stockton, California for 3 years, bro.
That's the land of boof weed right there, Stockton, California. That's the Bammer Kingpin heaven right there. I also
lived in Orange County. They got some boof there too. So.
I mean, Orange County, yeah, you're not gonna find a lot of good weed in Orange County unless you know a couple good people out there, but other than that.
Regardless of all this bullshit, I think it'll be interesting to see how many of these other farmer markets pop up. If this will really start being a thing. I think it could really expand across the areas across New York because people want to get cannabis. They got nowhere to get it because they only have 20 dispensaries open in the whole state. I'd love to see if one opens up in, Union Square, a nice little farmer's market. We'll see.
You're such a dreamer, Gretchen.
I am a dreamer, Jason Beck. This is what this industry needs is a little dreams and hope, not your bullshit booth.
Little dreams and hope.
Sad indoor weed that you be pushing.
Little tea party over here. A little tea party of hope, serving up hope with honey.
Okay. I would love to go to. I've been to a cannabis farmers market. It was out in California. I don't think it was really on the up and up. However, I think New York, it would be nice to see that happening. I think it's going to be a wonderful day and a wonderful photo op for all those New York politicians.
Let me tell you something, Gretchen. Anytime you're in New York, you let me know, and I will get you into whatever farmers market is actually really happening out there in New York, okay? Because there is one every single day.
I trust you for an East Coast connection? Absolutely not. Go away.
I'm telling you, girl. My reach is long, girl. Long game on the reach game.
Oh, I don't want to know about that.
I think there's a great news for the New Yorkers. However, I think it's very peculiar that they try to prop up this farmers market story every time some bad news
they
comes
do
out in New York.
Yeah, they do, and they flip flop on this story. This I think this story is flip flop more than you have, Rico.
How is this story flip flopping?
Well, because the first they came out talking about they were going to have the farmers market, and then they flip flopped and they reversed it. They said it's not happening, and then they came out again and said it is happening, and then now we have this story.
I'm referring to today's story. I would love to see what the news is after today. I'd like to see the press conference. I think it'll be a fantastic day.
I'm willing to bet.
Happy people purchasing cannabis and the fresh air of wonderful New Paltz.
I'm willing to bet there'll be some addendum to the current lawsuit going on that drops today that bans this farmers market and stops rains on the whole parade.
All right, you big baby. All right. You owe me money, don't you?
With that, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to be right back.
The Control Tower from Highly Educated has perfected the dab. Utilizing the concept of thin film evaporation, you can waste none of it and taste all of it. The micro texture of the SE pillar increases nucleation at elevated temperatures. And with the tower propelling at 2,600 RPMs, it's certainly the most efficient dab experience to date. The Control Tower from Highly Educated.
Oh, and we're back. Whatever you're doing, make sure you hit that like button. It helps us with our algorithm over here. Make sure you're participating in the chats because we want to hear what you guys think in regards on these little polls. And also, too, make sure you check out our website, www.highat9news.com, where you can read all of the stories that are covered here today and every day and educate yourself. And make sure you share the stories with your friends. Share the channel with your friends because we believe that organic growth is the best growth.
Keeping up to date on the evolving policies of relevant state, local, and federal governments is key to success. When the future of your business is at stake, you need representation as dedicated as you are. With a maze of laws and regulations surrounding cannabis, hemp, and psychedelics, knowing where to begin can be a challenge. Good Thing to Law offices of Omar Figueroa features a skilled, highly focused team ready to guide you through it all. They're accepting new clients in California and New York. So make sure you check them out at info@omarfigueroa.com.
Up next, she is a cannabis and psychedelics reporter and editor over at Green State. Y'all know who it is. The Minnesota mama herself, Rachelle Gordon.
Thank you, Rico. Thanks, everyone. Today, my story comes from Texas. Apparently, a restaurant down there has implemented an anti-cannabis policy which has gone viral. So let's dive in. Cannabis aroma can be contentious. In legal marijuana markets, the pungent scent is often a major sticking point, from required air filtration to legal cases regarding consumption in apartments. The plant's odor comes into question frequently. In other places, the smell of weed can be enough for police to conduct searches, and apparently in Texas, it may also lead to discrimination. According to a report in the Dallas Observer, an East Dallas restaurant has seen a social media firestorm ignited over its policy on pot smoking patrons. Say that 3 times fast. On the door of E-Bar Tex-Mex reads, "If you have the smell of marijuana on you, we will not serve you." And this restaurant's anti-cannabis policy has been in place for a number of years. It only recently went viral after a visitor posted on Facebook. According to Texas law, businesses have the right to deny service as long as they do not violate local anti-discrimination laws. So while a restaurant cannot exclude people based on race, national origin, or gender, being a cannabis consumer is not protected. Since E-Bar Tex-Mex has a clearly placed sign informing potential guests of their distaste for pot smokers, the exclusion of marijuana odor is permitted under local law. So essentially, if they post a sign saying, "We will not serve you," apparently that is acceptable. The restaurant owner, Ernie Kinlanta, told the Dallas Observer that the issue is twofold. First, the aroma of cannabis may be a distraction for other patrons. He said, quote, "People reeking of marijuana, it just ruins everybody's experience around them. You can't possibly have a great meal with someone who has that much odor," he told the paper. Despite the extremely subjective nature of Quinlanta's initial reasoning, his follow-up made a tiny bit more sense. He said, quote, "If you are reeking of marijuana, then you're already under the influence." He reportedly argued that adding his staff is taught not to serve alcohol to people who are clearly intoxicated. So I guess why should they serve food to people who are high? Question. The case of this Texas restaurant is just a small example of the continued battle for equanimity among cannabis consumers. While relatively low stakes, the story shines a light on a broader conversation around paper-thin excuses for blatant discrimination. Typically, people of color are far more likely to be victims of these types of systemic prejudices, whether based on how you smell or how you dress. The bottom line is that people are still searching for ways to perpetuate inequalities that have existed for generations. Rachelle Gordon, reporting for High at 9 from Green State. What do you guys think about these anti-cannabis odor policies? Have you seen them elsewhere? How are they excuses for discriminating against other populations?
Well, here's the thing. I wonder if they have the same policy if like some stanky homeless person walks in there. Are they not going to serve them too if they have the money to pay for their meal and base it off of their smell?
Or cigarettes. I mean, that's way more offensive than cannabis.
Very
and
true.
I feel like it sticks to you more. It gives off a way more offensive smell, and there's no sign about that. This is just blatant nonsense.
I'm gonna say this. Because I'll take a year off from smoking. I'll take 6 months off from smoking. And when you stop smoking, the pungent odor of the smoke can be distasteful. It's just honest to God. Like, I'm somebody who loves pot. I'm currently, indulging in marijuana. I'm telling you now, it can be pungent. Someone could have their kid there They could be really, really, really Christian. They could be really, really, really Islamic. They might find it offensive, you know? So for somebody having a business, he could have the rules the way he wants to have the rules. And someone said that cigarettes stink more than marijuana on the breath of a person. Yes. When someone's smoking a cigarette and they're talking to you, you're like,
on their
wow,
skin, bro.
horrible.
On their skin too.
But you know what? It doesn't linger as much on the clothing though as I know marijuana does. Like I don't
know about all that.
Like
I don't know about all that
and
one.
everything just to make sure that the smoke doesn't
all,
travel through my house.
I don't know about all that one, bro.
I'm just saying, listen, I can't openly say that this guy's wrong for saying it because, yo, look, if you come here and I don't want you smelling like pot, it's my rules, it's my business. If it's a sign on the door saying you cannot come in here smelling like marijuana, then you shouldn't even be trying to go there smelling like marijuana. And even how the video came out, it came out where it's triggering to people. See, a lot of this stuff could be bad, man, because then, you know, some people out there are really fanatical. People will start attacking people just because of their color, just because they think that they're, you know, it's just, it gets to a point where we're watching stories and we're told we need to make a judgment on a story that doesn't really tell you everything. Is this guy being a stick up the butt? Yeah, I believe he is. I totally believe he is. By the end of the day, if he has a sign that was up there before you got there that said, don't come here smelling like marijuana, and you still went and you did that, and he said, no, you can't come in there, it's his business.
So I'm willing to bet that this restaurant is subsidized by Project Sam. And I would love to go to this restaurant just to see who's going to be in there. And I would pay with cash and then tip with weed.
Well, back in the day,
you want to do an undercover? You want to go
100%? Yeah. I want to go there. Yeah, I want to go there and do this. Yes.
We're doing an undercover story, y'all.
Yes. Yes. We're going to Dallas.
I agree that it is the prerogative of the business owner to do what he wants. But if you look at any story of public complaints about cannabis consumption, they're always complaining about the smell. It's not the smoke. It's always the smell that people are getting all up in arms about. So I agree that I think if this guy does not want that in his business, it's his business to determine that.
If you're walking in a restaurant and they're smelling this pot I just smoked and not the food, then fuck that restaurant. That's what I'm saying.
Where is this restaurant located?
In Dallas. Dallas, Texas.
You guys have the luxury of living in an era when smoking weed still is semi-legal. Back in the day when it wasn't, you just took Visine and some cologne along with
exactly.
you. Exactly.
Exactly.
It's like, dude, this guy, you walk in with Visine and cologne on, and it's like, I don't smell like weed, but I'm higher than a fucking kite. So now what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm just allergic to all this, what are those things called? Tumbleweed out here. You know what I mean? Out here in the great state of Texas, and got my eyes all red.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
This guy here, bro.
Oh, man. You know what? We're gonna keep it moving. We have a new poll up there. Is it fair to refuse service over smell of weed smoke? So make sure, chat, you go in there and let your voice be heard. Send a thing, whatever. Put your opinion up. But nonetheless, we're gonna keep this rolling. Coming up next, that's right. Oh boy, I hope you guys are ready. That's right. It is the voice that Joe Biden would love to silence for even acknowledging it exists. That's right. It is none other than Mr. Tony Montaga.
I am very, very happy to be here with all of you guys out there watching. Shout out to all my co-hosts that are currently on the panel. And today's story is two ugly women. And I'm going to say this, not because of appearance, even though they're ugly in appearance. This is about the inside. Before I start this story, I'm going to say something. It's something that every last one of us all can agree on, is that the kids should not be messed with, and we have all a responsibility to make sure we protect the children. So the persons that I am reading allegedly did this, if they're guilty, I hope that they're slapped with a punishment that is so harsh it just doesn't want anyone ever to do this again. Two women arrested for forcing 7-year-old to take THC-infused gummies, smoke THC pen, officials say. That's why I said allegedly. Floyd County, Georgia. 2 women have been arrested after officials say they forced a child to ingest marijuana. According to an arrest report obtained by Channel 2 Action News, Floyd County deputies were calling to investigate a case involving child cruelty. Authorities said that Nicole Lucille Rinker and Raquel Price gave a 7-year-old a THC gummy and THC vape pen and made her smoke it. According to the report, the 7-year-old told them she did not want to ingest the drugs, but she did not want to ingest the drugs because she didn't like how they made her feel. So, sidebar, this would mean that they've had her do this previously before. Medical staff confirmed in the report that the child suffered from an underlying medical condition. They did not say what the effects of the THC would have on the condition. Interesting. Hold on. Oh, that's the end of the story. That's it.
This is crazy, and these 2 people look crazy, just personally. You know, they look crazy, and this doesn't surprise me. Like you can see like the sores on their faces from drug use and different stuff. Like this is not a surprise. I think this is atrocious that they gave a child and forced them to take this. This is just ridiculous, and this type of stuff needs to stop because it makes cannabis people all over look terrible.
I also think that the reason why they didn't say the relation of these 2 women to this little girl is because clearly they have a romantic involvement. I'm insinuating this, and this is just my own opinion, right? I believe that they have a romantic involvement, and I believe that the appearance of these 2 individuals and the heinous crime that they're being accused of would definitely hurt an agenda that is currently being produced on the American people right now.
Oh man, what do you think about this, Stone?
Okay.
You have kids.
I'm not saying it's okay to give them the THC pens, but I'd be a lot more worried about what else was going on in that house just by looking at the 2 women. Like you said, it making an assumption here, but it looks like maybe some meth use.
Yeah,
like
it looks like meth use to me too, Stone. I grew up in a crazy trailer park that was full of tweakers. They used to do tons of meth, and they definitely both have meth face, and they have the little sores on their face when they sit there and get high and just fucking pick at their shit all fucking day and all that. This definitely reminds me of that too.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, it just makes me really, really sad, you know, because same thing. I just think about the kid and why would you force them to hit a vape pen? Like, what is that? Like, if you're really claiming that you're trying to dose your child for a medical reason, like, put some tincture in their pancake or something. Like, what the heck?
I'm willing to bet the kid was screaming. They couldn't figure out what. They were all just high. They're like, oh, we just want the kid to shut up. Da 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 da. Here, give him a gummy. Here, have him hit the vape. That'll put him to sleep. I'm willing to bet that there's something like that happened.
Yeah.
No, I'm willing to bet that they thought it was cool to do it like a lot of dummies do. And clearly they're abusing themselves and they don't love themselves. And these type of people, if in fact they are guilty of this crime, should not be released into the public and should never be ever considered to be allowed around children again. Again, I think that it's our responsibility to make sure that we protect the children. And due to these persons' appearance and I believe their involvement, there is a lot that's not being told to us. We don't even know if these women are even blood related to this child. We don't know where this child even came from. There is a lot that is not being disclosed here, and that's even more troubling because clearly I believe that this should have had a more in-depth reporting on it like this. I'm just not used to this. I'm not used to seeing someone abuse children and they don't really dig into the person's past. You know, people come up, they interview parents. It's just the level of reporting.
Yeah, they'll talk to the neighbors to see if they've heard anything or seen anything.
I'm saying, like, yeah, and I just don't see anything on this because I went and I looked online to see other stuff and it's just not a lot on it. And I believe that there's a lot that's not being said, and I believe that's even more scary.
100. Question, Tony, do we know where this happened at? Like what state, county, any of that?
It's in Georgia. It's in Floyd County, Georgia.
Floyd County, Georgia.
Well, I can speak to why there's not more information on this. Being a former reporter, if you read the story, they took all this from an arrest report. I don't think this reporter did 1 ounce of walking this neighborhood or talking to anybody. They took it from whatever they got from the daily police log, and that's it. This is just lazy reporting. That's how it works.
Gretchen with with the insight over here.
I used to do that stuff all the time. Not that I was lazy, but you start with the police log and you go from there.
I mean, it is
don't think this
National
reporter did that
National
further.
Day to be lazy today, I guess, huh, Gretchen?
Mm-hmm. You would know best.
I mean, that's what the
I
calendar
guess
said.
because they're poor. Maybe that's the reason why I go talk to other poor people. We can just put it up there and put it out there. But I think that the child deserved a little bit more information, because then if there could have been things that they were doing that other people are doing, and then maybe if you would just talk to the neighbors, and neighbors like, oh, we seen this, it was suspicious, or we seen this, it was suspicious, then if someone's seeing it, they'll be like, well, I'll be seeing someone do that too, maybe I'll keep a closer eye out for it, to see, on my end from what I'm seeing. I just believe that, again, that the child, it's just, this is bad, man. When I chose to take it today, I chose to take it thinking, let me just go ahead and look into it. But when I looked into it and I didn't see nothing really on it, I was sitting there like, man, this is bad, man.
Yeah, and at the same time too, Tony, there always is the possibility it was in Georgia. It could be possible that they have no neighbors, that they live in a very, very rural part of Georgia, and they have no neighbors around too. So that is a possibility.
Oh, this is horrible.
I seen Dr. Felicia is in the audience today. Did she have a comment on this one? This is in her backyard.
Yeah, I haven't seen her put anything in the chat yet in regards to this story, but I have seen her post on the previous story, but I have not seen her post anything onto this one yet. But I was hoping that she would, and at least maybe possibly give us a little bit of insight on this county overall.
Well, all right. I got this little tool. It's called Google. Floyd County is just a little ways off from Atlanta. I'm guessing that these people, again, just took this from the morning police log. This story was posted this morning at 9:45. So I would expect you to see more of a follow-up and someone perhaps going out there to actually check this out later today. That would be my guess if they're going to follow up on this. But this is an Atlanta TV station. This is definitely out in the boonies where this report is coming from.
Out in the sticks. You ready, Rico?
I think so, man. A little technical difficulties over here. Show taking up too much bandwidth over here, but
oh man, we got the internet mob because they found your house and they're about to shoot it up.
Cartel always finds me, man. They always finding me. Is my mic a little better now?
You sound perfect.
All right, perfect. So in a game full of losers and trolls hanging out under the bridge, smoking Delta 8 and a Delta 10 or whatever other derivatives you think of out in Austin, Texas, this guy hit the high road. Y'all know who it is. Coming in and bringing us home today, my man Stone Slade.
Thank you, Rico. Thank you.
That's a Texas action going on today, man. You gotta get your state together, bro.
I can barely hear you, Rico. I'm sorry.
I said Texas is on the wrong side of the news today, man. What's going on, man?
Aren't we? Hey, let me tell you something. There's no restaurants in Austin, Texas that won't serve you if you smell like cannabis. So bring it on down to Austin. Today, though, my story, Atlanta, Georgia. In Atlanta, Georgia, an ongoing issue is causing major concern among medical cannabis patients. With nearly 30,000 patients already registered, the state health department reveals an alarming backlog that's left at least 500 patients waiting for access. Kim Scriba was one of these individuals left waiting. She relies on medical cannabis for her 24-year-old special needs son, Ryan, who once suffered up to 100 grand mal seizures a month. Scriba said that we started using cannabis oils and it cut that in half, but obtaining a medical cannabis card took her nearly 4 painstaking months. She went on to say, it's enough to deal with every single day, but to worry about if we're going to be able to even get medicine, that's not right at all. So what's causing this delay? Dr. Lisa Pinkney, the president of True Leaf Dispensary in Marietta, which, by the way, is one of only 5 licensed dispensaries in the entire state of Georgia, sheds light on the process. The patient who believes they have one of the 17 conditions goes to one of their physicians deemed as a certifier. The physician then notarizes and uploads the paperwork to the Department of Public Health, initiating a wait for the card. Now, although they say that the wait time should ideally be 2 weeks, many have experienced backlogs extending up to 4 to 6 weeks, and in Kim Scriba's case, 4 months. Once that card is ready, it's then mailed to the nearest public health department for the patient to then drive and go pick up. To address this delay, Georgia's Department of Public Health is taking measures to expedite the process. Now, these measures include the introduction of a call center, daily card shipments, and the addition of more pickup locations, putting their efforts with technology somewhere around 1983. Now, while these initiatives might offer a glimmer of hope, the existing backlog remains a pressing concern. Kim Scriba, who finally obtained her card, feels for others in her previous situation, stating, a lot of these people just don't realize just how quickly we need this card. Now, I got to say, 4 months obviously is ridiculous. 4 to 6 weeks is also ridiculous. But even 2 weeks is already too long for people that are desperate need of their medicine. It's 2023. Most things are digital. Why are you sending people's much needed but unnecessary government approval of their doctor's recommendation by snail mail? There's no reason for this process to take this long. I've said this before. These people, politicians, aren't taking cannabis seriously. Georgia and a lot of other states need to actually take cannabis serious as a safe and viable alternative treatment. Patients being prescribed opioids aren't waiting weeks to get their prescriptions. Making patients wait, some whom suffer daily, is simply inexcusable. I'm Stone Slade, reporting for the High at 9 News Hour.
This is crazy. We started dealing with this when recommendations were first out 25 years ago, and they brought forth a card system in California in 2004. No one got them. So the physicians were able to give you this recommendation, and it was effective immediately. So to have the foot dragging along the way just tells me they continue to treat this like, oh, if a kid gets this or somebody gets this is, depleted uranium, and we got to be very, very careful. It's fucking stupid. Because you can go around the corner and a guy has a bag of weed for you, but when you got a sick kid, you do not know if it's the right stuff. And that's the struggle you have. Trying to hook somebody up with the right strain where they can get them so that they're semi-legal and not going to get arrested. It's hard enough when you're dealing with a kid, especially who's got serious problems. This just continues the ridiculousness. This is going to kill somebody. It's not going to kill anybody. Just stop it.
Agreed.
Do you think, Dale, that this is just a kind of basically like a fake headline? It's not really expediting anything. They if they wanted to, they could expedite this much, much faster, and just like you said, make it just a recommendation base.
They could have every doctor who does recommendations hooked up with the state electronically. Hey, I just saw patient X. They have condition Y. I approve them. Boom. They're in the database. Then you go to a dispensary and you're in the database. Why do you need the fucking card? I mean, not that I don't have cards myself, but your phone should be able to say, I'm in the database. Here it is. Like Stone said, we're not in the Freddie Flintstone days when they're, the woodpeckers hitting the piece of rock and they're going to have somebody walk it over to you. No, this could be done that quickly if they wanted to.
It's ridiculous.
Gretchen, what do you think about this?
I think Georgia sucks and needs to get their shit together.
Georgia sucks.
Go dogs.
Heather's
Damn.
laughing at that one. Way to go,
I'm sorry. I'm digging up all this shit on Floyd County right now. Give me 5 minutes and I'll tell you what's going on with that story.
Oh man. Well, I mean, I don't know if we have 5 minutes left in the show. Can you be a little faster?
No.
We can't get an expedited version of this.
Well,
My money is on these chicks being sisters.
Oh, you think they're
from back in the
sisters?
days 20 plus years ago, when I had people come in my office, CPS was taking their kid away, and we had to go do a court hearing, and the headlines were all this, this woman's, poisoning their kid and all that stuff. And we went into court, and we started pulling back some of the layers of bullshit here. The judges were irritated. It's like, we got a sick kid here. And so there's potentially some room here that, despite the tweaker face, that maybe you've got a sick kid here. I don't know. There's not enough information, but I've had headlines of follow a kid into my office and have to go to court with them, and the judge was horrified. Why in the was anybody trying to take this kid away? Or there's the police involved. We had a kid with a serious disorder. Cannabis helped him, and mom should be applauded. So there's other sides of this.
That's an interesting twist right there, Dale. See what you did there, Dale. That's an interesting plot twist right there.
Well, but what we have here are allegations, and they're sensational allegations, and I've dealt with them before. You know, the cops are following you, the DA's calling you. You got all these issues. It turns out we've got a family that's got a kid that's really fucked up, and they find out, hey, if I give them this, it works, okay? And maybe they don't even have that sophistication. They're just having some kid try shit. I don't know. I've also seen people who are just scandalous motherfuckers and should have their kids taken away. So there's all sorts of sides here to this, but you know, the sensationalism will catch you. And I just want to remind you, the cat and the laser light. Be careful chasing that laser light, because it could turn out to be something else.
All of a sudden, you never know, you'll be running into a wall.
And whoever's got the laser lights laughing their ass off.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. That is for sure. That is for sure. Well, I guess Gretchen, you're gonna let us know what's going on with this story tomorrow, or what's
I'll keep an eye on it. I don't think these women are related to the child at all.
Really? So they were like babysitters club?
I think I'm not gonna, suggest things, but I'm thinking trailer park situation, neighbor kid, because none of the charges are say anything about taking the kid away from these people.
Got it.
So I don't think it was their kid to begin with.
Interesting.
Maybe they had some good booth.
They bought that baby cash.
I mean,
they bought that baby cash.
I mean, I definitely have seen some stuff like this in the trailer park I grew up in. I will say that. That trailer park was gnarly.
And on that, we're at the top of the hour, folks. Thank you all for joining us for today's episode of High 9 News. You can catch us weekdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to our super fans showing love, getting the comments live on the big screen, and the live audience and the online supporters catching us across all media platforms, tuning in for the conversations of chaos that we talk about daily. To our vetted correspondents tuning in from all over, bringing us much needed variety perspective and your respected opinions to the table. To our production team, Cloud Media Partners, House of Fuego, and all our sponsors keeping the headlines coming and the lights on. And I got to talk to Spectrum because, I got a fiber over here and they messing my day up.
Spectrum has fiber too.
What's that? Spectrum has fiber too.
They just charge an arm and a leg for it.
Yes. And always, Cannabis Sativa L, the reason the High 9 News team reads these headlines daily. Thank you. It has been Thursday, August 10th. Yes, it is still Leo season, Jason. The show is over. You've all been blessed with today's top industry headlines. Hope it's enough for you to put in your pipe and smoke at least until tomorrow. Rachelle Gordon, you got the outro today. What you got for us, man?
If you're coming to Outside Lands in San Francisco this weekend, come say what's up. We'll be in the Grasslands area and keep the vibes high no matter where you are.
Yes, indeed.